Hey guys, it's me again. Today I wanted to talk about actually something that was again discussed in one of my graduate school classes just yesterday, and that's the concept of the glance of the eye, or a twinkling of an eye, or a blink of an eye, and really what the significance of that phrase, of that, I guess, for lack of a better term, atom of time really means, how it relates to um the resurrection, and not just the resurrection of Christ in some sort of far off, distant future, not literally, but in our everyday lives. And I mean, just to give a bit of background, the phrase "the glance of the eye" or "the blink of an eye" um comes from First Corinthians 15, one of the letters of St. Paul, when he's talking about what the resurrection is going to be like. He says that we're all going to be changed in the blink of an eye, in the twinkling of an eye, in the glance of an eye. And that's actually very interesting, because Paul doesn't use figurative language very much in his letters. Every time he does, that's, at least as I understand it, an indication that he's referring to the oral gospel. That is the gospel. And he says this at the beginning of the chapter, shared with him by some of the original disciples, some of the original founders of the church, of Christianity. And so it's interesting, what exactly does that mean? And what it means really is that it's not about the particular moment, but what it's about is a particular orientation to events that happen in time. In daily life. So, and it's really about making each moment new again, or approaching it in that way psychologically. Like in your heart, say, okay, you're going for a run, and this came from one of the examples used yesterday in my discussion by a student. Say, for example, you're walking to the park, right? And you do this every day, right? But all of a sudden, and it is sudden, it has to be sudden, you're walking, and the beauty of nature just strikes you in a way that it never had before. And you're changed psychologically. You're changed. You take that moment in its entirety, in its fullness. Whereas before, you were just some automaton doing the same thing you did every day. Now suddenly, the grass is so beautiful. The lake whereby you're running is so majestic. You don't want this to end. And that sort of sudden realization is the way we should, at least I think, according to Paul, and according to what the resurrection should mean for our lives, approach every situation. Make every situation new again. Make it have that same wonder. And always be ready for it. And I think just sort of practically, this is very eye-opening, right? Because we tend to just not really stop and smell the roses. But what Paul is suggesting to me is that we be ready to be grateful and to look at things in a new way, and to not be surprised when it comes upon us suddenly, and to change our hearts to be that way. And it's particularly interesting. A friend of mine from the class, which if you're watching this, you know who you are, sent me we're in a group actually, so she sent us a clip from the movie Modern Times. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie. It's a Charlie Chaplin movie. It was one of the last really popular short film, not short films, silent films. And yeah, so there's this one scene where, Charlie Chaplin is on an assembly line. He's doing his work over and over and over again, and then suddenly the machine starts malfunctioning. He gets sucked in. Then stuff in the factory, starts sparking. Fires happening. But yet he's still happy, right? In other words, he's taking those moments and, in defiance of his situation, he's making them happy. He's changing them. He's making them new. He's subverting what you would normally expect a person to do in those situations. And that's the way we should see the resurrection. We should see the resurrection not as some far off event, but something that happens in our daily lives every day, and as an attitude that we should take in order to be grateful and see things in a new way. And to me, this is particularly appealing because I'm a person that tends to make things that are really nothing, that don't even really matter, into a very big deal, and things that are a very big deal into small things. And that's not right. I should be the other way. And I'm trying to be the other way. And I think that's really what the resurrection means, at least to me. Alright, I hope you guys appreciated that. Bye.